Before I begin coloring my cold porcelain, I take Vaseline as well as plastic sandwich bags. Look like this, but you can also use saran wrap or cling film to wrap your clay in. But I want to prepare these sandwich bags so when I have finished coloring my cold porcelain, I can immediately put it in here and I don't have to worry about the cold porcelain drying out. So what I do is I take Vaseline, or you can also take cream, but I think Vaseline works better. I take a popsicle stick and I just scoop a little bit out, and then I turn the plastic bag inside out and then rub some Vaseline along the bottom corner, one of the corners or both of the corners, just like so, and then I rub it together so the Vaseline spreads around and traps moisture in the bag better so my cold porcelain won't dry out while I store it. So I'm going to do that to the rest of these bags, and then I will come back and show you how or what to use to color your cold porcelain. I've got a small chunk of cold porcelain here, and I'm going to use this perfume to make it scented. So I'm just going to take this, flatten this out, and spritz a little on there, and then I'm going to fold the cold porcelain onto itself just to incorporate the new smell. Your cream that you use to make sure it doesn't dry out will also scent it, but this scents it more strongly. And it lasts quite a long time, the scent, but it does fade eventually. So you might also want to add some color to it as well. So there we go. That's the first method of doing something cool with your cold porcelain. And now I'm going to store it in one of those baggies in the corner. And you just want to make sure it is tightly wrapped. So I shove it into the corner here and try and press out all the air, and then I give this a good twist. And I store this in a bigger Ziploc bag. You can also use loose pigments, loose eyeshadows, pressed eyeshadows, glitters, or this body glitter stuff, which is Wet n Wild Mega Sparkle. It'll look like this, and I've used this to color my cold porcelain. It turns out pretty cool. So let's take this chunky silver glitter and show you how I color some cold porcelain with some glitter. Take this out. I wrap it up really well because glitter gets everywhere. Okay. I've opened up the glitter packet and I have some cold porcelain, and I'm just going to very carefully touch some glitter onto the cold porcelain. There we go. And I'm going to mix this in. I've now mixed this around for a couple of minutes, and you can see that it is sparkly with glitter, but I'm also going to add some of this black pigment to this clay just to show you how it turns out. But with using loose pigments such as this one, you want to use some cream as well, just so it doesn't dry it out. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of this black pigment to this clay, just to give it a bit of color, because it's shiny or sparkly, but it'll be translucent. So I'm just gonna make it like gray sparkly just by adding a bit of pigment to it, just like this. And I'm going to add a little bit of cream to it as well, just like that. And then I'm going to proceed to mix this once more. It doesn't take too much to combine the colors, but it does take a little bit of time and patience, but this is what it looks like now. And I'm also going to store that in a baggie. Next up, I'm going to use some watercolor paint. This is a green color, the label just fell off over the years. I'm going to use this. If I could get the lid off with one hand, there we go. So it's a green, thick paste. Just going to squeeze some out and dab it onto my clay. With watercolor, it's cool because the clay will still retain some of its translucency if you don't add a lot of it to it, a lot of paint to your cold porcelain. Just just gonna mix it. Just keep folding it in until the color's combined. I mostly color my cold porcelain with acrylic and watercolor paint, not so much glitter and perfume, but those are some cool things that you could do with your cold porcelain. And here we go. It's a very light green color, and now I'm going to store this in a baggie as well. This last method is the method that I use most often to color my cold porcelain, and it's using acrylic paint. Any type of acrylic paint will do, the ones in tubes or the ones in these little squeeze bottles. So I'm going to take my cold porcelain, just squish it down so there's a divot in there. I'm going to take my paint and squeeze them out into that area. And then I'm just going to fold it in. Gets a little messy. And here you go. It's fully combined. My hands are a little bit dirty now from the paint, but cold porcelain, yellow colored. Just a quick recap, you can add perfume, pigments, watercolor, or acrylic paint to your cold porcelain. One thing that I didn't try is using marker. The reason being is that it would just take a really long time to color a piece of cold porcelain with marker. At least that's my thought process. If you try this, let me know how it turns out. Another thing you may want to use are chalk pastels or soft pastels to color your cold porcelain. I forgot about this until later when I had finished filming the tutorial. But here are my soft pastel set, and these are what my pastels look like. So what you would do is just shave the pastels onto your cold porcelain and just mix it up until it's the desired color you like. But with this, since it's a dry powder as well, with the pigment where I mixed cream with it, I would do the same with this. So you can use any color chalk pastels. Also, you can shade with them. I prefer shading with my chalk pastels rather than coloring my cold porcelain. I like using acrylic paint, but you may want to try some chalk pastels if you have it. Or if you've tried anything else, adding anything else to your cold porcelain, let me know. I might try it in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.